Hello, my name is Vincent and welcome to another episode of Brew Time. Now today I'm talking to you from my car because today's episode is about car leasing. Now the goal of this video is not to bring you all the best deals currently on the market, but what I want to do is teach you what is actually a good deal and how to calculate that. So the reason why I decided to do an episode on car leasing is because I leased my car about a year ago, and only recently my best friend has also leased his car. So this episode is dedicated to him. When I decided to lease this car, I did a lot of research on how I should lease it. I went with a PCH at the end, which means that I don't actually get to keep the car at the end of the lease, but it actually worked out to be the best deal for me. So the reason why I went for a PCH was because at the end of the lease, I wanted to change my car. I want to drive all the iconic petrol cars before inevitably we'll have to drive electric cars. Hi, can I get one flat white, please? Yes, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you very much. There are plenty of videos out there explaining the difference between a personal contract purchase or PCP and what I did, which was a PCH. But the key difference is a PCP gives you the option to buy the car for a lump sum called a balloon payment at the end of the lease. But a PCH means you won't have that option, so you simply hand the car back and say bye-bye. I'm not going to explain what these are in more detail, but I'm going to take you through how a leasing company makes money so you can calculate whether you're paying too much for your vehicle. So to take you through an example, I have picked a Tesla Model 3. You'll see that you can choose the duration of the lease, i.e. the lease term, from 24 months to 48 months. You can also pick the annual mileage, initial payment, and whether you want to pay a monthly fee which covers maintenance, all of which will affect your monthly repayments in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So for my first example, I have chosen a 48-month contract with 5,000 miles per year and a 1-month initial payment. At the time of filming this video, the quoted price was £587 per month. This means the total I have to pay over the 4 years is £28,200. The next part I'm about to explain is how the leasing company makes their money. So in order to provide you with a vehicle, they first need to buy the vehicle. Their website says that a new vehicle costs £49,990, so we'll assume that's how much they paid for the car. So they pay out £49,990 for the car, and over the course of the lease they will receive £28,200 for the lease payments, which means when they take the car back they will have to sell it for a minimum of £21,790 to recuperate the new price of the car, and if they sell the car for more than that, then that would be their profit. Now a leasing company wouldn't leave this to luck, so they rely on price guides such as CAP HPI or glasses to estimate a residual value, or abbreviated here to RV. So for this example, the estimated future residual value from the price guide for a 4-year-old Tesla Model 3 having done 20,000 miles is £26,200. Therefore, if the leasing company can sell the car you have returned for this amount, they will make back the £21,790 to break even, plus an additional £4,410 in profit. However, the leasing company doesn't always pay the manufacturer's recommended retail price, but they might get a discount, like how you and I might get a discount if we went through websites such as CarWow. So for scenario 2, I have taken the new price from the price guides of £48,435, and assuming the leasing company bought the vehicle for this price, then they have just made £5,965 in profit for leasing you this car. In this next column, I have played around with the initial payments, so instead of putting down just 1 month deposit, I propose to put down 9 months. So the initial payment is now £4,532, and the monthly payments have reduced to just over £503 per month. Now I would have thought that by putting a larger deposit on the vehicle, the overall amount paid would be less. However, it is actually exactly the same. So why would you lay out £4,500 in one go when you can spread it over 4 years? I surely didn't. So what happens when you change the lease duration? In this new scenario, I have reduced the lease duration to 24 months with a 1-month initial payment. The monthly repayments are now £888, which means over the 2 years, the lease would cost £21,332 in total. If you compare this back to the first scenario in green, for just under £7,000 more, you'll get to keep the car for twice as long. Now continuing with the calculations, the residual value for a 2-year-old vehicle is £31,950 and the amount outstanding on the lease would be £28,658. Therefore, the amount the leasing company makes is £3,292. Now the reason why a longer lease is better value is because a car's depreciation is steeper the newer the vehicle is, and hence by leasing a car for 2 years, you are paying for the vehicle when it is losing most of its value. Therefore, out of the 3 options, I have chosen option 1. So now we know how to calculate how much a leasing company makes off a Tesla Model 3, let's compare this with another vehicle. For this comparison, I have chosen the Volkswagen ID4. So I've previously concluded that a 48-month lease paying 1 month deposit was the best option for me in terms of how much I pay over the life of the lease. So this is what I've chosen for my comparison. The monthly payments for the ID4 works out to be £463 per month, which means over the 48 months I will have paid a total of £22,243. The manufacturer's on-the-road price for the ID4 is £42,020, which means the leasing company would need to sell the car for £19,777 or more in order to make money at the end of the lease. At the moment, price guides estimate the residual value for a 4-year-old VW ID4 to sell for £20,600, which means the leasing company would make £823 over the 4 years of the lease, compared to £4,410 if they were to lease a Tesla. Even taking into account the discounted price from the price guide, the profit on sale is only £1,328. So just looking at the numbers alone, my money would go towards a VW ID4 as less of my money is going into the pockets of the leasing company. However, cars can be an emotional purchase, but hopefully now you can calculate how much extra you're paying to follow your heart. For my third and final comparison, I've chosen the petrol Mercedes A-Class. Now I won't talk through the numbers on screen, so feel free to pause if you want a moment to take it in, but I have included this to prove a point a little later. Another way we can compare these deals is by calculating the amount of depreciation you have paid over the 4 years. This is calculated by taking the amount paid over the 4 years and dividing that by the new vehicle price. So if we do this calculation, which one comes out on top? Drumroll please. You might have guessed it, the best deal is still the VW ID4, as you will have paid off 53% of the vehicle from new. The Tesla Model 3 is in second place, as you would have paid off 56% of the vehicle price, so that's 3% more than the ID4. Which is interesting because the leasing company actually makes the most money from leasing out a Tesla. And in last place is the Mercedes A-Class, where you have paid back 62% of the vehicle. So to best equip yourself when negotiating a lease deal, there are 2 main things you need to consider. The first and most important is the residual value. If you don't have access to a price guide, you can easily estimate the residual value by simply looking at similar vehicles on websites such as AutoTrader. Now you'll see here that I searched for Mercedes-Benz A-Class AMG line, so the same asset that I've used in the example. So if I scroll down and look at this particular example here, it is a 4-year-old asset for £20,700 and it's done about 20,000 miles. Now you might have noticed that the price found on AutoTrader is slightly more than the price guide value of £15,100. This is because used car prices have increased sharply since May 2021, driven by supply shortages. The latest data shows that we're about 25% above the norm, so if we take the 25% off the £20,700, we get closer to the £15,000 we have here. The second most important thing is knowing how much the leasing company bought your car for. So I went onto CarWow and got a quote for an A-Class for £31,505, which is broadly similar to the £31,475 from the price guide. Thank you for joining me on my drive. I'm back home now. I hope you found that useful. If you did, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on my next video.